Greetings and welcome back to the Grab by the Ghoulies Pacifist challenge, where we teach that murder is not a two-way street. Things might try and kill me, but I am no killer. In the last episode, we just finished a level that now I would honestly rather go back to and play 1,000 times over compared to what I am about to experience. However, I have been advised by my therapist that I spend the absolute bare minimum amount of time in this game from now on. Fortunately, the woodshed is a perfect place to practice her advice, since we can just walk through without any troubles. Under different circumstances, the farmyard would be an issue. However, there are some conveniently placed power-ups that make it trivial. First off, we pick up Mini Cooper, who can kill this required imp for us and move the level along. I guess Fiddlesworth would rather stand here and try and negotiate with the imp that's been using his balls as a punching bag for who knows how long, rather than just killing it. Once I save Fiddlesworth's ability to have children in the future, which might be a mistake, seeing as how intelligent he seems to be, it seems that we're in for quite a fight. However, then I remembered I could just eat some soup, which apparently solves all my problems. Obviously. Just picking up these challenge complete cans also comes in surprisingly handy several times later. And those are the levels that keep me out of the insane asylum. I wish I was kidding. We then receive this garlic gun, something everyone needs around their house, which is good for killing vampires of all types, including the chicken type. But since we're pacifists, we'll save the garlic gun's ammo for all the other uses I'm sure Fiddlesworth has for it. It's not like it matters though, because this is one of the most goofily designed levels I have ever seen. After we take the egg, the Baron, who only eats the finest of cuisines, vampire chicken eggs, is mad since it was his breakfast. Crivens then tells us we must wait a minute before the door opens. However, this requirement really doesn't matter, since even if you just run straight to the exit the fastest route, taking no time to kill anything on the way, the door opens right as you get there, pretty much. I'm pretty sure the devs were smoking something pretty good when designing half these levels. Then this silly little skeleton, who I guess was hopped up on calcium, runs by and steals our bloody egg. Get it? Bloody egg? Because, I didn't even realize this was pun at first until, I was listening to the recording, bloody egg because of vampire chicken. It's not even freaking funny. Whatever, we have to chase him. Then we get to go into the workshop. And workshop? More like slow work stop. I don't know, I'm grasping at straws here. That wasn't funny either. But seriously, I think I watched cobwebs grow in real time. This is a sick form of torture, I'm positive. Rare was planning this 20 years ahead of time. I just know it. At least in the garbage yard, I had something, anything to do. Run around a dumpster. That's what I had to do. In this, I had nothing to do. The whole level is only done by the ghoulies that you get to fight each other, and they can't even do the job quickly. This level takes forever, and let me just spoil the ending for you. It doesn't get done pacifist. Shut the hell up past me, pause for 1 second. That recording was made a few hours ago, and in that run that I was talking about, I didn't wind up doing it pacifist, but I have nothing else better to do with my time, so I went back and redid it. Why did I feel the need to go back and do it? I don't know. Am I happy that I did? Yes and no, but let's just go with yes so I feel better about all the time I wasted doing it. In the original footage, after spending several hours over the course of a few days on this level, I wound up killing one mummy worth 40 damage, which wasn't even necessary, but I was still gonna leave it at that. However, I decided I needed more. I needed that rush, that drug. This game has become an addiction. So I poured more time into this level, which will inevitably make me only be able to see this level when I go to sleep at night. I have come to the conclusion that this is what hell looks like. But I face my demons. I ain't no quitter. Not when pacifism is an option. Anyway though, so why is this level annoying? Well, there's a few different reasons. First off, most of the enemies are invincible, meaning that I had to get them to send each other into the furnace in the center in order for them to die. Since, as I hope you already know, sending people or ghoulies into a fire is not very pacifist and friendly. At first doing this, I really just thought that all I could do was knock the enemies into each other, get them angry at each other, and wait. However, I found strategies that made this go a lot quicker and actually made it feasible. Once the ancient mummy, cursed mummy, and vampire chicken here, who couldn't actually damage each other, got mad at each other, then they'd just brawl and sometimes fire each other into the furnace. Also, this dude got his head pounded in one too many times and decided to kill himself because of it. Once the cursed mummy had given himself the sweet release of death, I just got to see some very hot vampire chicken on ancient mummy action. Since every time an ancient mummy would die, a new one would spawn, I needed him to die and not the chicken because she was my weapon. I also found that I could manipulate her position and aggro the mummy to get him where I want him to make it easier for the kills to happen. Also, since basically all the enemies in this level are invincible to traditional damage, I can freely hit them to manipulate their position and make this easier. After the first ancient mummy was down, I just used the vampire chicken and manipulated her position to send the second ancient mummy into the fire. 5th kill down and then 6th kill down basically meant that the challenge was over, because I could spawn in the spiders and then get the friendship potion so that the mummies would go after the spiders who stood no chance. Ironically enough though, neither spider was killed by the mummies and the chicken just wound up killing both the other mummies. But I didn't care. That meant that the challenge was over here and I could leave. I did it 100% pacifist. After surviving that punishment despite not even knowing what I did wrong, I was glad to know that the lower corridors was a complete nothing level. Same can basically be said about the pantry. I did it in one try. Pick up our little buddy, he kills the haunted coat. Looks like the level's over. It's really not since there's a haunted door. Then a ghost screams at us while finishing his ghost chicken leg. How does that even work? The door gives us severe blunt force trauma. We pick up the challenge complete can and pick up the book all within a span of a couple seconds. Then I'm just kind of disappointed at the way this next one's designed because Mr. Ribs and I are both just trying to bring this egg to Ma Soup's will. But I guess Cooper being in this haunted mansion for so long has made him not want to talk through his problems and just go straight to using fists. This means that even though Mr. Ribs is a friendly character and we don't technically kill him, we still have to do 40 damage before we can progress. This sucks, but at least we don't have to kill him. Then, just as we're about to murder Chef's best friend, God, why couldn't they just talk this through? She stops us, and we get to have the egg for the potion. Grand hallway visit something, I don't know, I've lost count. We get to conquer the immense challenge of holding our joystick forward. I'm not sure why I gripe so much about these really easy levels, but I assure you I will continue to do so. Now, not sure if it's intended since half this game is just walking out of the room, but in the cloakroom if you walk around the very outer edge, the enemies never get aggroed and you can just leave. The sitting room just kind of bugged me because, like, you can almost do it pacifist. It's one of those levels where you have to do 1 damage because you have to kill all the enemies. And if all but one enemy is dead, then there's one left with no one else to kill him but you. These levels really demotivate me because I know I can't do them pacifist. So typically I'll just try them a few times and take my best run as, you know what, that's fine. I eventually plan on going back and fixing all my mistakes, like this level and maybe even starting this challenge in the first place. However, for now, I'm just going to go with the 7 damage I did here to the zombie, because I want to move on to so much better things. But the theoretical minimum for this room is 1 damage based on RNG. We then find this gun that shoots cans at extremely high speeds, definitely a normal thing to have around. And we just get to leave because this level has nothing to do in it. Out in the walled garden, we find our very last ingredient, which the Baron seems very annoyed that we're grabbing once more. But, funny enough, even though the Baron seems to have complete control over whether Cooper's about to keel over and die or not, he doesn't even try to stop us, even with a poorly designed escape challenge. Next up, we step into the study, which once again seems like a level that there might be something to do, but we just get to eat our dinner, and, you know, that allows us to leave. So, cool. I know it's because the game was rushed right before release, but there is so much wasted potential in so many of these rooms, which is just kind of sad. Now, I originally thought that this second visit to the music room would be ridiculously hard, since we're tasked with defeating a whole 30 ninja imps, which is a big ask. However, they will very willingly turn themselves into kindling for the fire if you position yourself just right as they jump at you. This made for no challenge at all, just make them kill themselves. However, I was originally more worried about the second half of the level anyway. See, once those many imps make the brave sacrifice to keep this mansion a little warmer with that small tiny little fire, we get scolded by Miss Buffbrass here for not throwing away the can gun and apparently making a huge mess with it. Ma'am, may I point out the fact to you that I shot this can gun not once, and the dozen or so imps that are all around here wearing karate gear and screeching incomprehensibly, you don't think that maybe they were at least part of the problem here and the mess? In the end, Cooper takes his scolding like a man and doesn't pout about it, because he now has a hunchback to kill. I always knew this level was possible since we have both skeletons that come in and ninja imps who both have strong attacks. Meaning this hunchback could die if I manipulated them to kill him, and that was the original plan. However, my brother was watching me play and noticed the challenge complete can in the corner. There are multiple angles where it's fully visible before that, however I guess my brain just couldn't comprehend the fact that Rare decided to put a challenge complete can in 2 levels back to back. Back into the sitting room, we fortunately don't have to do any kills, however we do have to do a minor amount of damage. You see, the house rule that pops up is we may only attack 15 things. If we do anything more than that, then the Grim Reaper comes, which is what we want, since there's haunted paintings to kill, and our innocent saintly selves aren't going to do that. The one problem is, even with all this stuff on the table to break, and the other assorted crap around the room that we can hit, we're still left with 4 damage that we must do to the haunted painting. Technically speaking, we could destroy the other haunted paintings before they come alive, but that is not actually pacifist since I know that they are alive and I would be killing them. So, 4 light attacks on the haunted painting it is, then let the Grim Reaper take it out and the rest of his friends that come up, and we're all good for this room. Second visit to the cloakroom is just a walkthrough, and then the something visit to the grand hallway. There actually is some interesting stuff to do. I get to fight my original worst enemy, the haunted door. However, you can actually do this level pacifists. Once you get these skeletons in maid outfits aggroed on the door, who are pretty curvy for being dead, it is pretty easy to beat the level. Though I do find it funny just how many of these levels I so happen to beat with only 1 life left. Once one of the more fun levels of this challenge is done, we get to move on, heading into the... Wait, it was... No, wait, stop, get the hell out of here, I'm not talking about that.